I think if I hear you call me Becky one more time, six-pack, I'm gonna pop your tops. All six of them.
This time coming at you with a review for the first Power 100, who sent me this DVD, The Stepfather. This is I guess you'd call a special edition from Shout Factory. Uh, has an audio commentary with director Joseph Ruben, and has about a 30-minute retrospective called The Stepfather Chronicles. Has the director, has the producer, actress Jill Sholin, I'm not sure that's how you pronounce her last name, author Brian Garfield, and a few others. Unfortunately, no interview with Terry O'Quinn. I'm sure they asked, but I don't know why he would turn that down. Probably his most famous role. And Joseph Ruben directed this. He directed Dreamscape with Dennis Quaid, then this film. He did True Believer, which I really enjoyed True Believer. That's with James Woods and Robert Downey Jr. I really like that one. It's a good drama about a guy who's convicted of murder, but he's really innocent. No one will take his case until James Woods does. Robert Downey Jr. gets James Woods' help. I really like that one. Oh, okay, he also did Sleeping with the Enemy, The Good Son, Money Train, which I like Money Train. I like Money Train with Wesley Snipes and Woody Harrelson. I like Money Train. Oh wow, he did that movie, The Forgotten, with Julianne Moore. The Forgotten was kind of like, in a way, it's kind of like an X-Files episode, in a way. Kind of like that. X-Files episode. These are movies that, interesting, kind of interesting little film. A little bit interesting film. Uh, I don't have that film, but kind of interesting little film. But, shit. If you're wondering why I'm stumbling around, because I realized I want to get this actress's name, and Tara Quinn stars in it. Now, Tara Quinn, probably, most people remember him now from his role in the TV show Lost. I know he was in the X-Files movie, Fight the Future. He was this guy who you think worked for the FBI and was going to disarm this bomb, but didn't and sat there. He was on the TV show Millennium with Lance Henriksen. Oh yeah, he was in Silver Bullet. I think he was like the sheriff or something in Silver Bullet. He was in Tombstone, Young Guns. That's why he was in Young Guns and Blind Fury. And then the lead girl in this is Jill Sholin. See, she was in Cursed to the Bite, Cutting Class, Popcorn, the 1989 Phantom of the Opera. I think that's the one with Robert Englund. Oh, she was in DC Cab. See, Cutting Class with Brad Pitt. That's a slasher film with Brad Pitt. Popcorn, When a Stranger Calls Back, 1989 Phantom of the Opera. So it's been some genre flicks. I liked Popcorn. I reviewed Popcorn, actually. I think the review's still up for Popcorn. I liked Popcorn. Okay, she was the lead in Popcorn. Cutting Class. I barely remember that film. I know Brad Pitt was in it. And I think Donovan Leitch, who I think was in the Blob remake. I think Roddy McDowall was in that. That's a slasher film I barely remember. Maybe for good reason, I don't know. Um, the reason I'm doing ahs and ums is just trying to remember what they were all in. Just the film is pretty simple. It's Tara Quinn plays this guy who wants the perfect family. And you have a very memorable opening sequence where it's not exactly like this cover, but he has a beard. He's this figure here, and he's got blood all over his face. You're wondering what the fuck's going on, and he shaves himself, fishes up his hair, changes his clothes, gets in the shower before that, and he's walking downstairs, nonchalant, like it's just a normal thing. Goes in his living room, and it's fucking wall to wall red with blood. The family is massacred, little kids dead on the floor, just everything. And this guy's just so nonchalant about it. And he walks outside, he's like, whistling, Camptown Races, is that what it's called? Dun 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 dun. I can't whistle. He marries into a family wanting it to be picture perfect, and when it's not, he will come up with sort of like a plan where he'll pretend like he's going to work each day, but really he quits that, moves to another town, tries to get situated there, and then when he's situated, he murders that family, moves to another town, started with a new family. And this time he's moved to a town, and you have Jill Schoen, if that's not how you pronounce her last name, I apologize. She's a stepdaughter. She has troubles because her real father died a year or so ago. And she's having trouble at school, uh, getting ready to be expelled. She does get expelled during the film. Doesn't want to give her new stepfather a chance. Her mother's trying to go, oh, give him a chance, give him a chance. She's always noticing weird things like, for instance, there's a sequence, and Tara Quinn is definitely the best part of this movie. Tara Quinn gives a great performance. This is why I enjoy this more than the remake, because Dylan Walsh, I don't buy in that remake. Here, though, I thought Tara Quinn played it very, very well. When he's nice, you almost want to like the guy when he's nice. You actually really want to like the guy, but, he can turn that switch. There's a sequence in the basement where he's like, we must have order, and he's talking to himself, getting mad, and then realizes that his stepdaughter's there, and hey, honey, I was just letting off some steam, and he really does that very well, Terrell Quinn, and I thought he did a really good acting performance. It deserves the praise. And I'm trying to think what else. There's also this other stuff going on where there's this guy who was a relative of one of the families that got murdered, and he's trying to find the sumbitch, trying to get help. Oh, put his picture in the papers, not getting much luck. Going to the cops, not getting much luck. Trying to figure out what to do. Gets a gun. And while his story's going on, you have, the stepdaughter. She hears about, this guy who, once that guy gets a story in the paper, can't get the picture, but gets the story in the paper. She's like, here's a story about this guy who killed his family, and she's wondering, because, she doesn't like him. Could he be the guy? Could he be the guy? Asks for a picture. He finds out, switches the picture. This girl also has a psychologist who she's friends with, and the psychologist pretends like, because Tara Quinn's job is a realtor, sells houses. So the psychologist pretends like he's going to buy a house, but then is asking questions, and Tara Quinn fucks him up with a fucking piece of wood. makes it seem like the guy died in a car crash, puts him in a car. And, he's like, oh, I really feel bad, honey, that this happened. I'm sorry he died in a crash. And then the stepdaughter starts to like him because she's, he's trying to be nice to her and, always trying to be nice to her. Then one thing leads to another, things don't work out, and he's already planning to move to another place. And when that's done, he's going to kill the people here. And it's that certain oh shit, when's he going to snap? When's he going to snap? Then you get to a finale that did not leave room for a sequel. And I don't think the sequel was needed. I know the sequel has, I think, Meg Foster, Jonathan Brandis, Caroline Williams from Chainsaw Massacre 2. I think it has Tara Quinn coming back. And then there's a Stepfather 3, which does not have Tara Quinn. I think some bullshit like, oh, he had plastic surgery, so it's a different person. I'm like, okay. There's no reason he should be alive. He's dead. At the end of this one, he has a fucking knife, and he got shot. So, whatever. Mainly, I like this for Tara Quinn's performance. It's not too long, 89 minutes. Tara Quinn has a lot of good moments, like he's on the phone near the end talking to his wife, and he says his last name, but he says the wrong last name. And he goes like, wait, who am I here? And I forget what the hell was his name here. Is it Jake or Jerry? So you Jerry? Oh yeah, that's right. I'm Jerry here. Then smashes the woman with the phone. He's like, are you okay, honey? He plays that very well, Tara Quinn. So he has good moments like that, or the scene in the basement. I don't think it was a movie that needed a franchise. It's definitely not a movie that needed a remake. It's more of a thriller than a horror film. Jill Sholin, I think she does alright. But there's certain acting moments that she wasn't, to me, really was not the most interesting character. To be honest, at the beginning, I thought she was just a brat. Granted, she doesn't, granted, this guy's a psycho, but she's not going to know that to begin with. Because all he's doing is acting nice to her, and she's being a brat, and she's getting in trouble at school, and the sad thing was, I was kind of more interested in the side story. This guy whose sister was married to this sumbitch, and his sister and sister's family got killed, and he wanted revenge and wanted to get a gun. I'm like, yes, I'm with this guy. Then he gets the ending, and he does something fucking stupid. Like, the right is like, sees him, is like, you got something on your face and it's fucking blood. And then the guy's fumbling for the gun and gets stabbed. I'm like, wow. I know the point was so you don't expect it. Kind of like The Shining, where, that guy who has, the shining power with the boy, Stammen Crothers. But even in The Shining, that was kind of one of the things like, I know what you're doing, but you kind of led all this shit up to, oh, he just dies. It kind of here is like, well, I actually kind of like this person, kind of like Stammen Crothers. I like this person. And, okay, I look forward to it. And then, I don't think that was in the Shining book, because I know in the remake, Stammen Crothers, that character did not die, I don't think, in that. So I guess they did it for the movie. Granted, it's a whole shit moment. I think the whole shit moment plays better in The Shining, because Stammen Crothers doesn't see it coming. It's not like he's fucking stupid, like, oh, he's the guy I need to kill. Oh, you got some blood on your face. Instead of talking, get the gun. So I didn't like that, how that character went out. And Jill Sholin was alright. The girl who played the mom was fine. It's not a film I'm going to rewatch over and over again. It's not a film I rewatch. I mean, to be honest, the most interesting part was Tara Quinn's performance. But I still like the movie. Still an interesting flick. I don't know, it's just something about it's not a film I can rewatch over and over again. I don't put it in the vein of Nightmare on Elm Street or Dawn of the Dead or The Shining or things like that. But Tara Quinn's performance is definitely worth the look for the film. Jill Sholin, she was alright. Again, the film, it's just not a film that I'm going to rewatch over again. Still a lot better than the fucking remake. But I like the film, Tara Quin's performance really makes the film work. So thanks for watching, and take care.